Giuliani, From Prosecutor to Defendant in SDNY by Matthew Russell Lee. From Brooklyn to the Bronx to SDNY. It all began in Brooklyn, with mafia ties alleged a motivation. Manhattan College in the Bronx to 1965, NYU. Law, then a clerkship to Judge Lloyd Francis McMahon. Where else, SDNY. This court would keep reappearing, with Giuliani moving from one side of the V to the other. He also got sued a lot as NYC mayor. Rudy rose to acclaim, taking on a corrupt politician, Representative Bertram Podale. With the election of Ronald Reagan, Rudy switched from independent, he'd previously volunteers for RFK, to Republican, and got a post in DOJ justifying policies on Haitian, then the coveted U.S. attorney for SDNY post. 3.5 years of Boski, when compared to Madoff, was mild. So too Michael Milken. Richard Wigton and Tim Tabor of Kidder got off scot-free. But Fat Tony Salerno? A dream team of Michael Chertoff, John Savarese, and Gil Childers was put together. Their commission case, the use of RICO, rode Rudy to the mayoralty, albeit with a 4-year hiatus after losing in 1989 to Dinkins. The Crown Heights riot, the family Red Apple boycott, turned the tide. Dinkins also presided over mass eviction of homesteaders in the South Bronx, his paternalist officials unable to see that some did not want to be dependent. Rudy came in, and with him Abner Louima, then Patrick Dorsman. There would be no lifting of term limits after 9/11, even for America's mayor. And an attempted run against Hillary Clinton was cut short by prostate cancer and Judith Nathan. Would she later take Joe D's jersey? Likewise, 8 years later, a run for the Republican nomination for president was cut short by Bernard Kerrick's indictment. So, lobby for Mech, and hook up with the Orange Man in 2016. Lobby for the extradition of Gulen, and for Alejandro Betancourt. Everyone knows about the Four Seasons Total Landscaping press conference, the failed Pennsylvania lawsuits. There was nearly a prosecution of Rudy by SDNY. In the aura of dealing with First Ash, Judge Oatkin said the search was mostly righteous. But in the end, they did not seek indictment. But pointing that finger at Ruby Freeman and her daughter, saying they passed around USB ports like heroin or cocaine, would have legs. First there were the discovery violations, to be repeated in SDNY. Then the defamation hit, $148 million of which $75 million were punitive. Chief Judge Beryl A.
Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse today, Monday, January 6th, 2025. Those light things, this may be the beginning of snow, but we're heading in for the Giuliani case. We covered it Friday in depth, 7 hours, almost 3 hours of cross-examination of Rudy Giuliani on the stand. We published a book over the weekend. It's called Rudy Giuliani, From Prosecutor to Defendant in the SDNY, and we'll be covering today's proceedings. Giuliani's been allowed to appear virtually, but his lawyers will be in court. And there'll be a trial starting next week, January 13th, about the Florida homestead and the Yankee rings. So we're all over that one. But check it out. It's also an audiobook, etc., etc., etc.